Hey, folks, that's right. This is your man, Adolphus A.D. Morgan. And, it might look, my background, I'm at LAX, folks. As today, your Houston Texans went down to the defeat to the hands of the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium, the first game of the kickoff 2025 season. And the Texans were pretty much in it all the way. In fact, all the way to the end, and then a costly fumble that the Rams were able to recover at the end and then run the clock out. However, that fumble was not the deciding factor in this game. And at least in my opinion, I thought that the Texans in the third quarter, even after all the adjustments were made, came out. Rams took the opening kickoff in the second quarter. Brace roughly used about 2 minutes and 20 some seconds, and went down the field, scored the winning touchdown. And from that point forward, at least for the third quarter and somewhat over the fourth quarter, the Texans they stagnated. The offense became stagnant, and it just there was no rhyme or reason or the flow to the whole situation. So I mean, uh, yeah, there are a lot of positives there, but then when you lose, you can always go back and say if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And this was a situation where I thought that the Texans, because they three field goals and just one of if just one of those field goals had been converted to a touchdown, we could be talking about a different story today. But as the case, much as the case right now, it's not going to happen like that. In fact, two of those field goals should have been converted. Then we wouldn't be talking about, because that would have forced the Rams to really do some different approaches to that game. But anyway, uh, there are some positives. I thought Ariana Ursay got baptized good today, but I thought he acquitted himself quite well. I thought for the most part, yeah, C.J. Stroud was sacked 3 times today. The Rams were able to get to him, but the Texans were also able to get to Matthew Stafford today, and they got so we balanced out as far as the sacks were concerned, 3-3. I thought that, and this is I'm gonna let D'Amico Ryans get to this particular venue about what he had to say about that. But as far as dealing with as far as the rest of the guys are concerned, as he stated, the opportunities was there, but and game overtly was it sloppy? Not necessarily. I mean, for the first game, yeah, that was roughly 11 penalties that I thought that, but the thing about it, um, is to be expected. I thought that it boiled down to the last team, because the Texans were driving before that fumble, and I thought they were going in for the winning touchdown. Just so happens that the fumble occurred, and the Rams recovered it and were able to run out the clock. So, a lot of pluses, a lot of minuses. But anyway, let's take a quick gander with Coach Ryan, and get into the tape, because while I'm sitting here waiting for my flight to commence, I'm just go ahead and play this one. Let's see what happened. Yep, let's see. Hold up, let me see what we got here. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Here we are right now. Did the Rams' initial drive in the third quarter, coming out from the locker room, did that alter what y'all wanted to do or tried to do, make from the adjustment standpoint? And after they scored, did that sort of alter anything? Because it looked like y'all stalled in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, they made some plays. We tried. We of course we made adjustments there in the second half. They came out, they scored, they went down and scored on us. Not how we were expecting to come out. Like, we gotta stand up and make a play there, and they got us, and go back to us on defense. Main thing was just eye discipline. We didn't play with great eye discipline, so they made plays when our eyes were not in the right spot. We're looking in the backfield, they're throwing the football. Guess what? Guy's going to be wide open. So that's things that we control, and that's the main thing about this game. Rams did a good job, but there are a lot of things that we control: penalties, eye discipline, just the urgency. We control all of that.
Coach.
Yeah, like Coach said, and really they did because Kuka today he was targeted 11 times. He had 10 passes and 130 yards. Now, admittedly, I thought that Stingley got stung probably in that first quarter, and I thought he played gamely through the rest of the game, but it was obvious he seemed to be it was like a step slower between him and Devontae Smith and Adams rather. They both sides, they just seemed that they were a step behind the receivers. It's and it's one thing I had discussed with Aziz Ashar, Friday, was because the Rams do a lot of motion and a lot of everything. When you get caught looking in the backfield, looking at all the motions and everything, and I think that's what Coach Rams was referring to today. It was the fact that you know, from a defensive standpoint, hey guys, we can't get caught up in that all that just window dressing and watching all the fancy stuff go by because you're looking at all the fancy stuff and guess what, the players getting run in front of you. So in that case, as far as what D'Amico's Rams was concerned about today, and they got caught looking today, um, but and I'll tell you this. I thought the Texans' inside running game, I would like to have seen them really try to stretch that out today. It meant they gave us some sacks. As I mentioned, Ariante Arce got his baptism today. But overall, I think as the game went along, he steadied out. They like Cam Robinson went down, and so Blake Fisher had to come in. But as Coach going to tell you, this is national football. This is football, period. When injuries come, next man up. You ain't got time to sit up there and give excuses about, well, if he hadn't got hurt, if I could have, would have, should have, all that. Anyway, you know, yeah, no, I won't go there. I'll start to go to an anatomy class, but I'm not going to do that right now. But anyway, talking about and I thought that Nick Chubb inside running today was on a couple of occasions, several occasions on some drive. Nick Chubb ran hard inside, and I thought the weaknesses that the Texans had shown last year between both guards and centers. And by the way, Andrews, the starting center, you know, for the Texans, Jake Andrews went out with an injury, so Patterson had to come in. But and be quite, I thought they were a little bit more efficient with 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 uh, Jared Patterson in there. Now, and then going forward, we'll see how that's going to play out. But as far as this situation, as far as with Nick Chubb and him being able to run, I thought everything worked out. Let's play this other clip from Coach and see. You showed the I mean, that was a tendency y'all got. Particularly with Nick being tough inside there. Was that a lack of consistency, maybe going back to that? Because when y'all shown that Nick could get that inside tough yardage, I mean, that seemed where it was best. His best plays were coming from the inside. Was it something y'all want to stick to, or just something that's just the way it is because of the Rams being that type of front that they had?
Yeah, I thought we could have stuck with it more. I mean, you saw that's where our plays were made, where Nick was running the football down the middle. We had good double team, good movement up front. So something we have to look at again, just see what we can stick to, and what do we execute best to give ourselves the best chance to win the game. But Nick did a really nice.
Yeah, like as Coach Ryan mentioned, yeah, I would have liked to have seen him stick to that inside running game a lot more. Rams have a very tough front seven, folks, and it's probably going to be one of the best front sevens that the Texans will play all year, with the exception of maybe the Baltimore Ravens. But they got a Monday night game coming up. They'll got to go home, look at the film, and but like I say, I don't think there's an excessive amount of things that they need to clean up. But I think there are some very pointed things that they need to clean up. I don't have. I'm gonna put this clip out later on. But I asked CJ. during the presser, the fact that he had a lot more leniency coming with the freedom coming to the line of scrimmage today. And I asked him, well, there's some things that he from a check standpoint, and he said, no, they pretty much done all things that they expected to do, and they did do. However, and he admitted, yeah, we got some things we need to clean up. He said he missed some checks at the line that he probably could have put him in a better position, but this being the first game, and when you lose, your errors are much more highly displayed. They are much more highly exposed, and everybody, and I know for a fact that I saw several emails on social media today, folks complaining about, well, what really has changed as far as the Texans offense approach and everything. Like I said, when you lose, your errors are highlighted more. So in this particular situation, uh, with Tampa Bay coming in Monday night affair, Texans will come back. They'll probably they're on the plane now, flying back, and they'll get back in sometime. They'll probably be in a lot sooner than I will. They'll be off tomorrow, watch film. Well, they might be watching film tomorrow afternoon. But anyway, their schedule been pushed forward an extra day because they do have a Monday night. They have a Monday night game schedule, and I anticipate that a lot of the things that we had hoped to see tonight, there were some good things. Um, One thing that I, that what the Rams did do, and I thought they put a nice net around Nico Collins. I mean, he got a few catches, but I think they did a good job of going over and under. They had a safety on the high side of him, and then with the corner coming in underneath, so they were determined that. So maybe Xavier Hutchinson, who I thought from a wide receiver standpoint today had a pretty decent game, and hopefully get to see more of him. I know one of the interceptions that CJ thrown, but really, and this was to Jalen Jaden Higgins was a high point, and really safety just made a good catch. It was a high point of the ball because Jaden Higgins was, he stands about the same height as Nico Collins, but this safety just battling for the ball, and then they wound up and played and made a good play on it, and he high pointed the ball and came down with the interception. So, hats off to the young man on the interception because he made a hell of a play on the ball. So. There are some positives. The season is not done, folks. From all the stuff, folks is making references back to Bobby Slowick. Well, it must not have been his fault. It must not have been LT's fault. Laramie Thompson, with the motion. Yeah, we did have some motion penalties today. There were a lot of little things that came back to bite the Texans in their butt today, and I'm pretty sure you got something now. The film won't be lying. That eye in the sky will not be lying. So they got a lot of things that they're gonna need to address, and I'm pretty sure that practice is gonna be very. I'm gonna put it like this. It's not. I don't think you're gonna have a hard time getting people's attention. And then we just put it like this. There would not be a hard time, getting people's attention today. Okay, so as I get ready, I'm gonna go ahead and because I'm about ready for my flight for me to jump on my flight boarding in about. I got about a few more minutes here, but I'm gonna try to wrap this up and get ready to board my flight because I got a connecting flight that's will bring me into back to H Town. But in the meantime, appreciate it. It was good to get back out here. As I stated earlier, this is my second time back at SoFi since February 2023. When the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals played in the Super Bowl 56. So anyway, folks, as I get ready to wrap this puppy and get ready to tell you Saranado, ciao, and good. I appreciate you all that stood in. Thank you for watching, and be looking be on the lookout. It probably will be some quick hitters coming up in the middle of the week coming up with, and be prepared. So Monday night I'll be coming from NRG Stadium after the ball game against the after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night football. I'll be look to catch me Monday night after the game. Win, lose, or draw. Well, it won't be no draw. I mean, well, it can't be a draw. I mean, but whatever the case might be prepared to catch me on the corner. Again, thanks for all of those that watch. Thank you for even comments, whatever. Thank you, and folks, I'm getting ready to sign off, get ready to jump on my flight, and I'm out of here. Ciao, folks. Y'all take care.